Mark Twain wrote his will in such a way that everything he gave his descendants, and this turned out to be only one daughter because only one daughter survived him, could only be transferred to someone else by their will. They had to die in order to give away the papers. This was designed to prevent men from taking advantage of them. It didn't work. At least it didn't work with respect to their being taken advantage of. But it did work to keep the papers together. So the result is that in this group of offices you have either the original or a copy of virtually everything that Mark Twain wrote, at least everything that survives. And that means that if you want to study Mark Twain, if you want to kind of work on any aspect of him, this is the place to be, because we can provide you with as much information as anyone could have. And this is a little bit different from being a biographer who's trying to pull together letters from all over the country, because we've already done that. Not only are they pulled together, they're arranged in chronological order, they're basically available for study long before we actually get a book out that annotates them and does the best that we can by them.
Mark Twain knew as early as 1876 that he could not write an autobiography if he was worried about embarrassing people, offending them, or shocking them. And he continued to keep to this idea over the next 30 years. When he died in 1910, he specifically instructed that the autobiography not be published for 100 years after his death. Some portions, in fact, he wanted withheld for 500 years. That way, he knew that he could speak his whole frank mind and not be concerned about the consequences. We know from the fact that he published extracts during his lifetime that he wanted to suppress people's personal names. He certainly wanted to cut out harsh remarks, even vituperative remarks about his friends and enemies. In June of '06, he dictated a series of dictations about his views of Christianity. He felt it was bloody, merciless, money-grubbing, hypocritical, and hollow. And that was the sort of thing he really didn't feel was appropriate for a contemporary audience. In particular, I think he felt his family would be embarrassed by that. And he really wanted the opportunity to just let it all out, tell the truth, speak his whole frank mind without being concerned about the consequences. One reason that Mark Twain embraced dictation instead of writing was that he felt it was, in fact, less literary than what he would write with a pen. It was candid, it was spontaneous, it had a meandering narrative quality to it, a kind of casual quality to it that a more polished literary work would not have. And that was the quality that he wanted for the autobiography. It was in Florence in 1904 that he made up his mind that he was just going to start anywhere in his life, talk about what he wanted to talk about, and wander to whatever topic interested him in the moment, and put it aside when he lost interest in it. So he included 4 of the Florentine dictations, writing a preface entitled "The Latest Attempt," and explained that these pieces illustrated his preferred plan of talking about whatever he wanted. He then included the autobiographical dictations of the later years after that. So our research enabled us to understand exactly what he wanted in the book, and we've never known this before.